Read.
Micah chapter 7, verse 18. Who is a God like unto thee, that pardoneth iniquity,
Most High God will pardon our iniquity when we turn back to him. Read.
and passeth by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage?
The remnant of his heritage. We are the remnant of his heritage. We've got to turn back to his law, statutes, commandments. For all you brothers and sisters out there in the West Indies, you are Benjamites. You are the 12 tribes of Israel. It's time for you to turn back to your heritage. Get your notebooks, get your pen, get ready. We're going to go through this information, and hopefully you'll be edified. All right, let's open up, as we often do. Let's start with Job chapter 8 and verse 8.
Job chapter 8 and verse 8. For I inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Let's prepare ourselves for the search of our fathers. That's what this is all about, going into the history, looking at our forefathers and how they operated. Continue to read.
For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow.
So we can't get too high and mighty. The Bible says we are of yesterday, all right? And we know nothing. You can tell we know nothing. Look at the condition of our people. We're not a wise people. We know nothing. Read.
Shall not thy teach thee, and tell thee, and utter words out of their heart?
Listen what it said. It says, shall not they teach thee? If you open this book of your fathers and you go into the words and you start to gain some understanding, it says, shall not they teach thee and tell thee and utter words out of their heart, out of their minds, their spirit? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to learn about the mighty tribe of Benjamin, right? This is the 12th son of Jacob, right? All right, let's go to Genesis chapter 35 and verse 18. You know what? Let's start up a little bit. Go, I think 16. Let's start at 16. Let me get there with you too.
Genesis chapter 35 and verse 16. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath. And Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. And it came to pass, when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, Fear not, thou shalt have this son also.
So Rachel was going through excruciating labor pains, and her midwife said, listen, fear not, you're going to deliver this baby. Read.
And it came to pass, as her soul was in departing, for she died, that she called his name Ben-Onai.
Called his name what?
Ben-Onai.
So Rachel, in her exhaustion and going through the labor pains and on the verge of death, she called her 12th son Ben-Onai, right? And what does that mean? Read.
But his father called his name Benjamin.
His father, Jacob, called his name Benjamin. Read.
And Rachel died and was buried in the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem.
So Rachel died after giving birth to Benjamin, the last born of Rachel and Jacob. And his name was, Rachel called his name Ben-Onai. That is the son of my sorrow, because she was going through so much pain. But then Jacob said, no, his name is Benjamin. And that is the son of the right hand. That's what Benjamin means, son of the right hand. Now, that's a mighty name, because when you understand the son of the right hand, you got to look into that to get a better understanding of what that's saying to you. Let's go to Psalms 118 and 16.
Psalms chapter 118 and verse 16. The right hand of the Lord is exalted.
The right hand of the Lord is exalted. Read.
The right hand of the Lord doeth vigilantly.
It does it valiantly. The right hand of the Lord doeth violently. Psalms 48 and 10.
Psalms chapter 48 and verse 10. According to thy name, O God, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness.
Thy right hand is full of righteousness. Let's go back. Let's go to Exodus 15, and let's go to verse 6.
Exodus chapter 15 and verse 6. Thy right hand, O Lord, is become glorious in power.
Glorious in power. Read.
Thy right hand, O Lord, have dashed in pieces the enemy.
So this is going back into how the Most High fought for the children of Israel, dealing with the Egyptians coming out of the Exodus, right? So that's, if you read chapter 15, starting at verse 1, he'll go into what the right hand of the Lord. We're talking about Christ. Christ was fighting on our behalf. And he said above that Benjamin is a son of the right hand, right? Benjamin is the son of Christ, as we all are the sons of Christ. But he specifically said that about Benjamin. Let's go to Genesis 49 and 27. Now we're going to get into a little bit about the prophecy of Benjamin, right? We're going to go into Genesis 49. This is when Jacob brought his sons together and said, hey, let me tell you what's going to happen to you in the future.
Genesis chapter 49 and verse 27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil.
So in the beginning he said, Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. Something I found, so as I was doing this research, Jacob named 5 of his sons after animal characteristics. So Judah, in verse 9, Genesis 49 and 9, he said Judah is a lion. In verse 14, he says Issachar is a donkey. In verse 17, he said Dan was a serpent. Verse 21, he says Naphtali is a deer. And then finally, verse 27, he says Benjamin is a wolf. Each one of those has certain characteristics. Remember, the Bible says Judah is a lion. Who should rile him up, right? Lions are ferocious. Lions take over everything. They rule the kingdom. They rule the animal kingdom, right? They're fierce. But we know that Judah becoming an old lion, right? If you go back to the 60s when Judah was very revolutionary, had a revolutionary mindset, and they were fighting against the enemies. Remember it says Judah shall have his neck in the enemies, his foot in the enemy's neck. That's talking about the 60s when we was going through that revolutionary period, right? Benjamin has the same spirit. Benjamin has the exact same spirit. Let's go to Deuteronomy 33 and 12.
Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 12. And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him, and the Lord shall cover him all the day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders.
So this is a twofold prophecy. So we know that in in Genesis 49, he talked about Benjamin, right? And he said, he shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. But in Deuteronomy, he says, and Benjamin, he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him. So that dwelling in safety by him, he's going to take care of Benjamin. He's always going to look out for Benjamin. He's going to make sure that they have plenty. If you know anything about the land of Jamaica, that land is very fertile. That land is very lush and green. It grows, incredible crops. That's the Lord fulfilling that prophecy, making sure that they were taken care of. He's also going into, when they were going through slavery, how the Lord didn't allow them to be destroyed, right? They were not able to, the white man was not able to destroy them. Let's get Baruch chapter 4 and verse 6.
Baruch chapter 4 and verse 6. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction.
So right there, we were not sold for our destruction. Read.
But because ye moved God to wrath.
But because we disobeyed, we were disobedient. So we got punished. We moved God to wrath, so he punished us. But he didn't send us to these places to be destroyed utterly. He sent us there to learn our lesson, right? So the same for Benjamin. Benjamin had to go to the land of Jamaica. They had to go through the hardships that they went through in Jamaica because they were disobedient to the Most High God. But it wasn't for their destruction. And that's where he's protected them so they did not get destroyed utterly during slavery. All right, let's go to, let me show you. Go to Joshua 18 and verse 11. So this also goes with that prophecy of Benjamin being, and saying the Lord shall cover him all the day long. Where Benjamin was the land that they occupied when they came out of Egypt was right next to the main two tribes. Read that.
Joshua chapter 18, verse 11. And the lot of the tribe of the children of Benjamin came up according to their families. And the coast of their lot came forth between the children of Judah and the children of Joseph.
The children of Judah and the children of Joseph. We know the children of Joseph was Ephraim and Manasseh, right? Ephraim was the head tribe. So Joseph, or excuse me, the king of Judah, the tribe of Judah, and the tribe of Joseph, right? So Benjamin was always protected. That's their little brother. They weren't going to let anything happen to him. So if anybody came into the camp and tried to start some mess, they had to go through his brothers first, the first two leading kingdoms, if you will, or tribes, I should say. So he says that in Deuteronomy 33 and 12, and Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him, and the Lord shall cover him all the day long. So that's part of that covering. He made sure they were taken care of. They was in between those two mighty tribes. All right. So let's go to Joshua. Or excuse me. Go to Joshua 18 and 28. I want to show you something. This is something that kind of surprised me. I think when we think about Jerusalem, we often think that Jerusalem was in the land of Judah, but it was in the land of Benjamin. Let's read that.
Joshua chapter 18, verse 28. And Zallah, Eleph, and Jebusai, which is Jerusalem, Gibeathah, and Gorjatha, 14 cities and their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families.
These are the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families. So if you look at that, read that one more time, Officer, 18 and 11.
Joshua chapter 18, verse 11. And the lot of the tribe of the children of Benjamin came up according to their families, and the coast of their lot came forth between the children of Judah and the children of Joseph.
All right, so they came between the children of Joseph and the children of Judah. All right, now jump down to Joshua 18:28.
Verse 28. And Zallah, Eleph, and Jebusai, which is Jerusalem.
Which is what?
Jerusalem.
Which is Jerusalem. Read.
Gibeathah and Kerjatha, 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families.
This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin. So he's showing you that Jerusalem was in the territory of Benjamin. All right. All right. So, one of the things I was looking at as I was going into this, trying to get a feel for the characteristics of the children of Benjamin. Because remember, did we read? Yeah, we read that prophecy about them raving as a wolf, right? Let me read that one more time. Genesis 49:27. This is the prophecy that Jacob said about them, right?
Genesis chapter 49, verse 27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf.
Shall raven as a wolf, right? So the characteristics of wolves, let me get that first definition. One of the characteristics of a wolf. All right. Can you read that?
A wolf's ferocity is most evident in its relentless hunting tactics.
In its relentless hunting tactics.
Brutal territorial battles.
So they have brutal territorial battles.
And intense physical displays of dominance.
So they're very strong warriors. It says they have an intense physical display of dominance. Now listen to this. Look this part right here.
While naturally cautious, they display terrifying power and ruthless efficiency when survival or family is on the line.
So listen, when they are pushed to the point where they got to defend their families, it says that while naturally cautious, they display terrifying power and ruthless efficiency when survival or family is on the line. So that's going to bring us up to, I'm going to show you some examples of that. I'm going to show you how our forefathers had those characteristics in the Bible. Let's go to Judges 3 and verse 12. We're going to do a little bit of reading. We're going to go Judges 3 and 12 to 30, verse 30. This is going into one of our forefathers, a Benjamite.
Judges chapter 3 and verse 12. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel.
So because of our sin, because of our wickedness, the Most High put another nation, a heathen nation, and strengthened them and had them go against us. Read.
Because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord.
Because we've done evil in the sight of the Lord. So that shows you that even today, when we do evil in the sight of the Lord, these other nations rise up above us. These other nations torment us because the Most High is punishing us for our evil ways, even to this day. Read.
And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel, and possessed the city of palm trees.
Wait, who did he grab?
And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalek.
So he grabbed Ammon and Amalek, right? He went and got the Ammon's Chinese, Japanese, and he got the so-called Jewish people. Read.
And went and smote Israel, and possessed the city of palm trees. So the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years.
So because of our wickedness, we had to serve this heathen for 18 years for our disobedience. Read.
But when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised them up a deliverer.
Listen, the children of Israel cried to the Lord, and he raised them up a deliverer. That's the same today. You looking at them right now. The men in purple and gold going all across the earth, trying to turn our people back to the Lord. He's giving them saviors. He's giving them the brothers going out there jeopardizing their lives to teach them the word of God. It's the same thing today. That's what our forefather was doing. Read.
Right. Ehud, the son of Jerah, a Benjamite, a man left.
A what?
A Benjamite.
A Benjamite. Read.
A man left-handed.
A left-handed Benjamite.
And by him the children of Israel sent a present unto Eglon, the king of Moab. But Ehud made him a dagger, which had 2 edges of a cubit length, and he did gird it under his raiment upon his right thigh.
So he's going to talk to the king, and the king is expecting him to come and flatter him and give him a gift. Well, he gathered a dagger that's sharpened on both sides, and he put that dagger on his left side. Remember, Benjamin is son of the right hand. It's ironic that he put it on the left side. Read.
Come on. And he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab. And Eglon was a very fat man.
This is a big, fat, nasty heathen. Read.
And when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people that bear the present. But he himself turned again from the quarries that were by Gilgal, and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king.
Listen, he said, come here, king. I got something secret I want to tell you. Read.
O king, who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him went out from him.
So all his guards were removed. Because already he done flattered him with all the gifts. So he's thinking, oh, okay, this all right, everything is cool. Listen, y'all go ahead and go back, remove yourselves. I'm going to speak to this brother right here. I'm going to speak to this man, this Israelite man. You know what I'm saying? He's being respectful. He's showing his homage to the king. Read.
And Ehud came unto him, and he was sitting in a summer parlor, which he had for himself alone. And Ehud said, I have a message from God unto thee.
This is what he said. This is my gift. I have a message from God to thee. Read.
And he arose out of his seat, and Ehud put forth his left hand and took the dagger from his right thigh and thrust it into his belly.
I had it backwards. So he had it on his right thigh, but he used his left hand to thrust it into his belly. So remember, he was the name Benjamin means the right son of the right hand. He used his left hand to stab Ehud with this dagger. Read.
And the haft also went in after the blade, and the fat closed upon the blade.
So this man was so fat that when the dagger went into him, he couldn't even see it because the fat overlapped it.
Damn.
The fat hid the dagger. Read.
So that he could not draw the dagger out of his belly.
So he couldn't get it out. He was doomed. That was a message from the Most High God. Read.
And the dirt came out. Then Ehud went forth through the porch and shut the doors of the parlor upon him.
So now you got to imagine what kind of courage it would take to go into a king's castle by yourself and assassinate him.
Come on.
That's the kind of, go back to that definition again. I'll read it. It said, the characteristics of a wolf. Ferocity is most evident in the relentless hunting tactics, brutal territorial battles, and intense physical displays of dominance. That was an intense physical display of dominance. To go into that king's castle by yourself and go in there and assassinate the king, that's physical dominance. And it says, while naturally cautious, so he checked the scene out. He said, listen, let's everybody else leave, and I'm gonna share something with you. I'm gonna give you a message from the Most High God. Then it goes on, it says that while naturally cautious, they display terrifying power and ruthless efficiency when survival or family is on the line. Remember, this king had tormented Israel for 18 years. So Ehud was like, look, I done had enough. I'm going by myself. I'm going up here and I'm going to handle this. I'm going to deal with this dude.
Let's go.
All right? So that just shows you that those characteristics were in our forefathers back in that time period, right? In biblical time. All right? Let's go to Judges chapter 20, verse 15 and 16. This is the characteristic of the Benjamites. This is how the tribe of Benjamin got down.
Judges chapter 20, verse 15. And the children of Benjamin were numbered at that time out of the cities 26,000 men.
26,000 men with
that,
what?
That drew sword beside the inhabitants of Gibeah.
They were warriors. These were 26,000 men that had swords, that was ready to fight, ready to go to war, right? That's that fierce wolf spirit that they had in them, that characteristic spirit of the wolf, right? You come in there and you do anything against their people, listen, we're going to come together and we're going to deal with you. So let's go, let's take a look at some of our other forefathers who had that same spirit. So let's go to 1 Samuel 9, verse 1 and 2.
1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 1. Now there was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, the son of Abiel, the son of Zeror, the son of Bechorath, the son of Aphiah, a Benjamite, a mighty man of power.
A mighty man of power. What they say up here? While naturally cautious, they display terrifying power and ruthless efficiency when survival or family is on the line. I'm going to keep referring to that because that's what you're seeing. That's the characteristic that you're seeing in all of our forefathers, right? So this is going into Saul, right? Saul was selected to be the first king of Israel, right? Remember the people, they wanted a king over them. So they asked Samuel to anoint a king, right? And Most High said, yeah, go ahead, let them. That's what they want. First, Samuel tried to tell them how a king would do. And listen, you're going to take your sons, they're going to draft them. He's going to take, you're going to have to pay taxes, a tribute to the king. So he warned them, but they still insisted. So it's okay. Most High said, all right, give them what they want. Let them have it. All right. So let's go to, now I'm going to show you some of Saul's characteristics. Saul, when he first started out, Saul was about that. Saul had that spirit of the Lord on him. Remember, he was prophesying. He had that spirit initially. Let's just look at it. Go to 1 Samuel 10, verse 1, and then jump to 6.
1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 1. Then Samuel took a vial of oil and poured it upon his head and kissed him and said, is it not because the Lord have anointed thee to be captain over his inheritance?
So this is when Samuel was anointing Saul to become king of Israel, right? Jump to verse 6.
Verse 6. And the Spirit of the Lord will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them.
So in the beginning, Saul had the Spirit of the Lord, and he was prophesying, right? But we know the story. He eventually started becoming wicked. A wicked spirit from the Lord came over Saul, right? Because he didn't do what the Most High told him to do. He was being rebellious, right? All right, so let's go to 1 Samuel 11, verse 1, and we're going to read verses 1 through 11. So this is Saul going to battle against the Amorites.
1 Samuel chapter 11 and verse 1. Then Nahash the Ammonite came up and encamped against Jabesh Gilead, and all the men of Jabesh said unto Nahash, make a covenant with us, and we will serve thee. And Nahash the Ammonite answered them.
Listen what he said. Listen how he answered them.
On this condition will I make a covenant with you, that I may thrust out all your right eyes, and lay it for a reproach upon all Israel.
Now this damn heathen said, let me pluck out all your right eyes and lay them on as a reproach for Israel.
The hell is this?
I'm telling you, man, this read.
And the elders of Jabesh said unto him, give us 7 days respite, that we may send messengers unto all the coasts of Israel.
So they said, listen, we got to talk it over to everybody. Give us 7 days. We're gonna reach out, and we're going to see if everyone's willing to allow you to pluck their right eye out. Read.
And then, if there be no man to save us, we will come out to thee. Then came the messengers to Gibeah of Saul, and told the tidings in the ears of the people. And all the people lifted up their voices and wept. And behold, Saul came out of the herd of the field, and Saul said, what aileth the people that they weep? And they told him the tidings of the men of Jabesh. And the Spirit of God came upon Saul
this is how Saul was, he was of the Lord, because it said when he heard that, the Spirit of God came upon Saul. Saul was anointed by Samuel, and when he heard that, what this heathen said, the Spirit of the Lord came upon him. Read.
And the Spirit of God came upon Saul when he heard those tidings, and his anger was kindled greatly.
So that spirit riled him up. He was fired up. He became, let's go back to our definition, while naturally cautious, they displayed terrifying power and ruthless efficiency when survival or family is on the line. So this heathen's talking about plucking somebody's eye out and making it as a disgrace for the children of Israel. So that fire, and then the Lord's Spirit came upon him, and he became angry. He became fierce. That spirit of that wolf came upon him. Read.
And he took a yoke of oxen and hewed them in pieces and sent them throughout all the coasts of Israel by the hands of messengers, saying, whosoever cometh not forth after Saul and after Samuel, so it shall be done unto his oxen.
Listen, if you ain't down with us, this is what's going to happen to you. So Saul wasn't playing no games. He's like, listen, we about to go out here and deal with these heathens, and I want all my brothers to come and join. Read.
And the fear of the Lord fell on the people, and they came out with one consent.
That's how you know it was of the Lord. He said, listen, when Saul put that out there, the fear of the Lord came on the people, and they all came out with one consent. So we were unified. Every one of us said, let's go. Let's go deal with this heathen.
Let's go.
Read.
And when he numbered them in Bezek, the children of Israel were 300,000, And
300,000 mighty men showed up. Like, oh, this is how you want to do? You talking crazy? Let's go. Read.
You're going to learn today.
and the men of Judah, 30,000.
So he's going through the list of men who in the tribes and their number who showed up. Judah, the mighty tribe of Judah showed up. Read.
And they said unto the messengers that came, Thus shall ye say unto the men of Jabesh Gilead, Tomorrow, by that time the sun be hot, you shall have help. And the messengers came and showed it to the men of Jabesh, and they were glad. Therefore the men of Jabesh said, Tomorrow we will come out unto you, and ye shall do with us all that seemeth good unto you. And it was so on the morrow that Saul put the people in three companies, and they came into the midst of the host. And
so Saul was a war statistician or like a general. He put them in three companies. So he understood the art of war. So he's like, okay, we're gonna divide them into three companies. This is how we're gonna attack them. He had a military plan. Read.
And they came into the midst of the host in the morning, watch, and slew the Ammonites until the heat of the day.
He said, listen, they came into the morning and slew them until the heat of the day. Read.
And it came to pass that they which remained were scattered, so that two of them were not left together.
You couldn't find two Ammonites left together. That's how much killing and destruction happened in that event. Showing you again, I'm just really trying to show you the characteristics of our forefathers when they were following the Lord's laws, statutes, commandments, and they were keeping, they weren't being enemies of the Lord. He blessed them with the power, and they had this spirit on them. They had this ferocity about them. All right, let's move on. Time is it? Okay. Now let's take a look at Saul's son, right? Because Jonathan had that same spirit. Let's go to 1 Samuel 14. We're going to read 6 through 14. And after this, we're going to get into the same spirit carried over when we came across to the Americas. And I'm going to show you that in the history. We're going to go into the history of the Maroons.
1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 6. And Jonathan said to the young man that bare his armor, Come and let us go over unto the garrison of these uncircumcised.
So listen, Jonathan said, listen, hey, he told his armor bearer, listen, let's go over here to the garrison, right? That's a fort. Let's go to this garrison of these uncircumcised heathens. Read.
It may be that the Lord will work for us, for there is no restraint to the Lord.
Listen, he said, there's no restraint to the Lord. You can't put no cap on what the Lord can do. Yeah, they had more. They were outnumbered. It was only two of them. He said, but you can't put no restraint on the Lord.
That's right.
That's what we got to have, that kind of faith today. You can't say what the Lord can't do for you. Things may seem like they're insurmountable, but you got to have faith to turn back to the Most High, keep his laws, statutes, commandments, show your brotherly love, your sisterly love, and the Most High will fight the insurmountable battles for you. Read.
To save by many or by few. And his armor bearer said unto him, Do all that is in thine heart. Turn thee. Behold, I am with thee according to thy heart.
So listen, he said, hey, whatever you want to do, I'm down for whatever. How you want to do? Hey, listen, we can get how we live. You want to go out here, you want to deal with these, it's just me and you, we can go and handle that. That's the spirit that our forefathers had. Read.
Then said Jonathan, Behold, we will pass over unto these men, and we will discover ourselves unto them. And if they say thus unto us, Tarry until we come to you, then we will stand still in our place, and we will not go up unto them. But if they say thus, Come up unto us, then we will go up, for the Lord hath delivered them into our hand.
So he was saying, listen, if they say not to come up, then he knows that the Most High is not with them, and it's not of the Lord to go fight them. But if they say, yeah, come on up here, we'll battle you, then he knows it's of the Lord. So that's great faith. He's like, I know if they say come up here, it's only two of us, and we're going to take on this garrison, the Most High is with us. Read.
And this shall be a sign unto us. And both of them discovered themselves unto the garrison of the Philistines. And the Philistines said, Behold, the Hebrews come forth out of the holes where they had hid themselves.
Listen, they was like, oh, these chickens done finally came out of their little hiding place. They ready to come fight now. Oh, come on up here. Read.
And the men of the garrison answered Jonathan and his armor bearer and said, come up to us, and we will show you a thing.
Hey, so they was talking trash. Hey, come on up here. We'll show you a thing. We'll show you how we get down. Come on up here. Read.
And Jonathan said unto his armor bearer, come up after me, for the Lord hath delivered them into the hand of Israel.
That's great faith right there. He said, listen, come up after me because the Lord has delivered them in the hand of Israel. We about to destroy these dudes. Read.
And Jonathan climbed up upon his hands and upon his feet, and his armor bearer after him. And they fell before Jonathan, and his armor bearer slew after him. And that first slaughter which Jonathan and his armor bearer made was about 20 men.
So they went up there, 2 men destroyed 20 men in the spirit of the Lord. That is the spirit of a whoop. Remember, we got to keep going back to this, right? The ferocity is most evident in its relentless hunting tactics, brutal territorial battles. So that was a territorial battle. An intense physical display of dominance. So 2 men taking on 20 is an intense physical display of dominance. While naturally cautious, they display terrifying power and ruthless efficiency when survival or family is on the line. So it was just 2 of them going against 20. So they displayed every one of those characteristics amongst those 2 men taking on the garrison of 20. All right, all praise. You can drop that. All right, so now we're gonna go into going back to that prophecy in Genesis 49, right? So it talked about the Benjamin would be. It says Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. So let me get that. Wikipedia. Yeah, that the second one you put up. The Wikipedia is showing the nanny. This right here is talking about the Maroons. These are our forefathers who came over to this side of the earth right there in Jamaica, the land of Jamaica. And the Maroons were a group of people who basically escaped from slavery. And they went into the mountains. They went into the mountains and into the dense areas in Jamaica. Like Blue Mountain is one of the mountains that they're in. There's a town called Trelawney that they were in. I actually visited Trelawney before. And the spirit of the people there definitely was warlike. They were beautiful people, very embracing and hospitable. But you could just see a different spirit on these people. Let's read that.
Nanny of the Maroons, also known as Queen Nanny and Granny Nanny, was a Jamaican revolutionary and leader of the Jamaican Maroons.
So remember, these are the people who escaped from slavery, right? So one of the things you got to be careful with Wikipedia, because what they're going to try to insinuate is that this is like old folklore. This is just a verbal story that's been passed on. No, we know that our people fought back. We know that there were revolution. That same spirit that we're talking about, that ferocious spirit existed in our people back in this time period. Read.
She led a community of formerly enslaved escapees.
So this was one of our sisters that led this, right? This kind of puts me in the mind of our sister Deborah, right? Sister Deborah had to help fortify the men when they went into battle. Come on. Right? Read.
The majority of them, West African in descent, called the Woodward Maroons, along with their children and families. At the beginning of the 18th century, under the leadership of Nanny, the Woodward Maroons fought a guerrilla war.
A what?
A guerrilla war.
Oh, let's go back. Let's go back to the prophecy. It says, and Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. Raven means they're going to listen. They're going to stand boldly, defiant. They're going to stand in great defiance to their oppressor, right? They're going to be bold vocally, physically. Whatever they had to do to fight this oppressor, they're going to raven like a wolf. They're going to let that ferocity come out. It said in the morning he shall devour the prey. That guerrilla warfare is talking about the same thing. This shows you, this is how you know that we're talking about the children of Benjamin that are in the islands of Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, right? Tobago. Those are those islands where all the Benjamites are at, right? It's just where the slave ships dropped them off first before they came to up here to North America. All right, read that again. The part about them being a guerrilla warfare.
The Windward Maroons fought a guerrilla war lasting many years against British authorities in the colony of Jamaica in what became known as the First Maroon War.
Now, I'm going to show you something about how tough they were, right? These people actually fought for their independence from the British colony. Let me get that second slide of the. This is how successful they were. Can you read that for me, officer?
The success of the Maroons in fighting the British to a standstill.
To a what?
To a standstill.
So that guerrilla warfare, them going out, and in the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoils. So they're going out fighting these British and coming back with all the spoils from their battles and dividing amongst one another, right? Okay, read that again.
The success of the Maroons in fighting the British to a standstill.
To a standstill. The British couldn't do nothing with them.
Was felt far and wide.
So that energy, that spirit, and the fact that they had held off the British went throughout the islands. Because you're about to see something, read.
And half a century later.
A half century later.
The creator of independent Haiti, Toussaint L'Ouverture, remarked that in Jamaica there are in the mountains blacks who have forced the English to make treaties with them.
Listen, they were so fierce. That wolf was so ferocious. Them damn British said, we got to make a treaty with them. We can't even fight these people. And now they turn around and inspired the Levite, right? The Levite said, wait a minute. You know, Toussaint L'Ouverture said, wait, in Jamaica there is, in the mountains, blacks who have forced the English to make treaties with them. Well, I am black like them. I know how to make war. Remember, Exodus 15:3. Read that right quick, because Most High taught us how to war back then. Exodus 15:3.
Exodus chapter 15 and verse 3. The Lord is a man of war.
The Lord is a man of war.
The Lord is his name.
The Lord is his name. So listen, that spirit was still in our brothers when they came over here to the island of Jamaica. So they were so fierce in their ferocity when they fought the British, they inspired our brothers over in Haiti.
That's right.
They inspired the Levites to stand up, and they fought for their independence and beat the French. That shows you when we work together and we come together as one, we can defeat any foe.
Come on.
As long as we are keeping the laws of God, as long as we maintain the laws, statute, commandments of God, and do what he tells us to do, we have a superior ability to defeat these demons. All right? We've lost that understanding. Matter of fact, let me get Jeremiah 17:4. This is what happened. We lost that. So this wasn't that long ago, right? This is in the 1700s. Now, when you think about it on the landscape of time, that's not very long ago. But we had that spirit on us. They had that ferocity. They had that fighting spirit, that intent to say, listen, I'm not going to let you destroy my people. They had a fierce spirit about them when someone was trying to destroy their people, their tribe. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
It's just like when Ehud and in the land in Israel, when we were doing evil, Most High rose up all the heathens around us, and they came and they started attacking us. That's where we're at right now today, because we're not keeping this law, statutes, commandments thing. All praises. This is the outcome. This is what we've had to endure. But now we're waking up, because you're seeing the prophets go forth throughout the globe. We just went through on our Passover. We went to every land on the globe, waking our people up, waking up the scattered, the lost tribes of Israel, calling them back to their heritage. And that's what we're trying to do right now. This is to show you that we can regain this spirit amongst us, the spirit of brotherhood. We should never forget what happened to our brothers and sisters, and we should never want to see our people in this condition again. Well, they've taken off the yokes of iron now, because we're destroyed mentally, because we hate one another. They don't even have to fight us. We fight each other. We destroy one another. That's because we lost that heritage, just like Jeremiah said we would in 17:4. All right? So let's go to, let me see. Let me get Micah 7:18. But we're going to get it back. We raising up. Our people are starting to raise up, because Most High God is sending saviors, the prophets, the men you see in purple and gold, men who are not out here just trying to, raise money or trying to exploit you in any kind of way. All we're trying to do is show you the truth of the Bible, so that you can regain your heritage. Read.
Micah chapter 7, verse 18. Who is a God like unto thee, that pardoneth iniquity,
Most High God will pardon our iniquity when we turn back to him. Read.
and passeth by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage?
The remnant of his heritage. We are the remnant of his heritage. We've got to turn back to his law, statutes, commandments. For all you brothers and sisters out there in the West Indies, you are Benjamites. You are the 12 tribes of Israel. It's time for you to turn back to your heritage. Let's go read, give me 1 Peter 5:3. Did you finish that?
Micah chapter 7 and verse 18. Who is a God like unto thee, that pardoneth iniquity, and passeth by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage?
Passes by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage. That's what we want. We want that. We want him to forgive us for our transgressions. But the only way it's going to happen is we got to turn back and start being obedient unto the Lord, following his law, statutes, commandments. All right, give me 1 Peter 5:3.
Let me finish it off.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, read.
He retaineth not his anger forever.
All praises for that. The Most High don't retain his anger forever. That's why you see us raising up. That's why you see us coming back to our heritage. We are learning. All across the globe, he's sending his prophets out to wake up the lost sheep of Israel. He does not hold on to his anger forever. He is a merciful God. And this right now is him reaching his hand out to you to help you to understand that you need to turn back to his laws and commandments.
Because he delighteth in mercy.
Well, he what?
He delighteth in mercy.
In these last days, listen, he's delighting in our mercy. He's showing us mercy that we can turn back to him. And he's delighted that we are taking that mercy and we're being obedient unto his law, statutes, and commandments. We're his children again. We're saying that, yes, Father, we're going to listen to you. We're going to follow your laws and commandments, because we know that's what's best for us in these last days. Go to 1 Peter 5:3.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 3. Neither is being lords over God's heritage,
So when you come into this truth, we can't be lords over God's heritage. Read.
but being examples to the flock.
We and all the brothers and sisters that you see in purple and gold, we're supposed to be an examples to those who do not know the laws of God. We have to be examples to one another, and we have to be examples to all those who are looking at us, watching us, and observing how we move. We have to help them to see a manifestation of God's laws being evident in our life. All right, give me Sirach 17:11.
Sirach chapter 17, verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage.
This is what the Most High God left us. He gave us the law of life for a heritage. The laws, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt have no other God before thy God. Those laws, and there's many more, right? Those are just the 10 that most people, some of the 10 that most people are more familiar with. But those are the laws of life. When you start doing that, we won't have black on black crime. You won't be out there trying to swindle your brother out of a dime so that you can get ahead. You'll be trying to help your brother to understand the error in his ways. Read. Was that it on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go to Sirach 24:23. And then we're going to pull up that song.
Sirach chapter 24, verse 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God.
So all of these things, all of these laws are the book of the covenant of the Most High God. Who he give it to?
Even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage.
So listen, even he said these are the laws that Moses gave the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt for an heritage. You are the children of Israel. This is your heritage. You're an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. Read.
Unto the congregations of Jacob.
To who?
Unto the congregations of Jacob.
Not to the whole world. Not to everybody. Only the 12 tribes of Israel, the congregation of Jacob.
Come on.
That's who we are. That's who we be. All right? Now we're going to listen to, one of the things about that spirit we were talking about, right? That wolf spirit. Let me go back to it. It says that they have a relentless hunting tactics, brutal territorial battles, and intense physical display of dominance. While naturally cautious, they display terrifying power and ruthless efficiency when survival or family is on the line. Part of that spirit is reminiscent in the music. I want y'all to listen to this and look at the lyrics. Officer, I want you to get... Revolutionary music.
Do you know what it means to have a revolution?
To have a revolution, to turn back to the Most High God. The solution is to turn back His law, statutes, commandments. Down against who? The down pressing. That's the oppressor that's down pressing our people. Okay, I'm going to have you go back to the beginning of that, and then I want you to read what you got. We're going to listen to the instrumental, the introduction part, and then you read that. I want to be in the same spirit. Yep, you can play it. From the beginning. And you read what you got.
Psalms chapter 149 and verse 6. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand.
That's the revolution. That two-edged sword is the word of God, according to Hebrews 4 and 12. Read.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen. Read.
And punishments upon the people.
Punishment upon the people. So listen, if you're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you're out here sinning and you're going to turn it against the Lord, you as an Israelite, an unrepentant Israelite, you're going to receive punishment. Read.
To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron.
To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. Read.
To execute upon them the judgment written.
Whoa, the judgment written. There's a judgment in this word of God that is written for the heathen, right? Let's get it. Revelations 13. Yeah, finish it.
This honor have all his saints.
Hey, listen, this honor have all his saints. It's an honor to stand and be able to put this punishment on these heathens for all they've done to our people. You should be proud of that thing. You shouldn't be afraid. For all you that are in Christianity, y'all too passive. You got to turn back and understand that God is looking for revolutionary spirits. He's looking for men and women that's going to keep his law, statutes, commandments, and who going to look forward to the honor of enacting his vengeance upon these heathen.
Praise ye the Lord.
Praise ye the Lord. All right, Israel, that's all we got, the time we have now. I pray that you are edified. Most High in Christ bless. Shalom.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.